Yo, what's up, Robertson Global Freight Team? Just wanted to do a quick video here in regards to prospecting calls, calling customers. Just have to reiterate this all the time because I don't want anyone to get discouraged in regards to what should be expected when making phone calls. Listen, the first phone call is probably the toughest because you can't expect to be making a sale on that first phone call. The first phone call is considered to be a prospecting phone call. And the difference between prospecting and just a general sales call or a general call to making a sales connection is prospecting. You're calling to see who the customer is, what the customer does, what type of shipments the customer makes, what type of lanes the customers are running in. And basically, if you don't understand what a lane is just the highways that they travel. Most of the time, our customers are going to go to the same place or the same places. For instance, I-10, they may travel I-10, they may travel I-40 in order to make deliveries because they're going to the same locations from one shipping location to the destination is typically going to be the same place, even if it's multiple locations. But bottom line is we need to understand who they are, what they do, what they're shipping, how often do they ship, how much do they ship, what's the tonnage that they're shipping and that they're normally shipping. These are the types of questions that we have to ask on our initial call, our initial prospecting call. I know it's tough when you call that customer for the first time and you want to make a sale because you haven't made a sale yet. But at the end of the day, you've got to start somewhere, and starting somewhere is making that prospecting call. Now, once you have made that prospecting call and you've sent a follow-up email and let those guys know, hey, thank you, or you just want to make sure that we stay in your memory bank, and you've made that follow-up email, sent that follow-up email to the customer. The next call is going to be that initial call, that first call that you're making after the prospecting call. And that call could be a sales call, but it could just be a follow-up call. But the bottom line is you're going to make several phone calls, many phone calls to these customers. If a customer answers the phone and they do make deliveries, or there's a potential for getting a contract, whether it be today, tomorrow, or next year, you've just got to create an interval of when you're going to call that customer. You want to when I was making calls, once I made that prospecting call and then I started making those sales calls, I would call that customer probably every 7 to 10 days. If you answer the phone and you talk to me, I'm going to talk to you at least once a week, once every 10 days at max. Because eventually that customer is going to start calling you. Eventually that customer is going to say, yes, I have. Eventually that customer is going to say, yes, I have a potential order for you. And, you're going to be having conversations with those guys, and you want to stay at the forefront of their mind so that when they get ready to place those orders, that you're the one that they're calling. So I would start calling those guys every 7, no more than every 10 days. If you're calling someone more than 10 days out, they're probably going to forget about you. And, when you talk to them, you're asking them, you're talking to them about not just about business, but you're talking to them about their personal life, who they are, what they do. When you speak to, for instance, Cindy on the phone, and she answers the phone and she's talking about little Johnny and his soccer match, and she's got to leave early because she's got to go pick him up from soccer or pick him up from mom to take him to the soccer game or whatever the case may be. When you call her back and you say, hey, how was the soccer match? How did things go? Did you guys win? They feel comfortable. They feel as if you're really relating to them more than just about talking about business and winning a sale and getting a contract. Those are the types of things you need to talk to them about. Now, with that said, you don't want to just talk all personal. This is a business game. You do want to talk about business and when their freight is moving and how often their freight is moving and how often they are making loads. So that does need to be the primary reason of the call, the primary discussion of the call. But remember, update your conversations in your CRM. It's important that you update your CRM, because you're not going to remember everything that you talked about. You're not going to remember Lil Johnny or Cindy's ballet competition. You're not going to remember that unless you write that stuff down or you jot it down in your CRM. So all those things, put them in your notes in your CRM. When to call these guys back. Your CRM has a schedule there for you to schedule when you call guys back, or give you an update when you're going to make these updated phone calls and these updated email responses. These are things you have to do. So if it was me, what I would do is I would make the prospecting call. 7 days later, I would make the initial sales call. 10 days later, I would make the second phone call. 10 days after the initial call, I would call them back. If they answer the phone, you want to keep them. If they answer the phone and they talk to you, you want to keep them in your Rolodex and stay in their memory bank. Getting potential customers is not easy. Eventually it's going to happen. I know some of you guys are saying, hey, I need this money right now. I need to make a call. I need to make a sale. I've been doing this for 2 weeks. I've been doing this for 3 weeks. Listen, the name of the game is to be consistent. It's to be consistent and to be persistent. And eventually it's going to happen for you. It's not going to happen overnight. Listen, so here's the thing. A lot of you guys are comparing, I didn't say a lot, but some of you guys are comparing this to a regular 9-to-5 job. Here's the difference between a 9-to-5 job. When you get a job and you start on that job, they're going to pay you every week or every 2 weeks just because you're there. You may not be effective or really providing a return on the money that they're paying you, for a certain amount of time. It may take 90 days or 120 days before you really become a valuable asset to the company, but they know that it's going to take time. So they're willing to put an investment into you in order to you learning what you need to do and providing those necessary skill sets that you have in order to win the business for the company, or if you really start becoming a value asset to the company. What they have done is they've invested into you. So at the end of the day, what's happening here is you have to invest into yourself. And investing into yourself means you've got to put the time in, you've got to put the work in, you've got to understand that it's not going to happen right now. It's not going to happen overnight. But when it does happen, it's going to be a snowball effect, and you're going to start making that money. You're going to start having customers calling you even when you're not even ready to talk on the phone. So what I want you guys to do is don't give up. Hang in there. Be consistent. Be persistent, and just make sure you're utilizing your CRM. If you got any questions, please give me a call. Please shoot me an email. Talk to your team partner. But whatever you do, don't give up. This game is bigger than just you, and this game is bigger than the 15 minutes that you may provide in a day's phone call and talking to all of your customers. You have got to be consistent. You have got to be persistent and understand, why you're in this game. Determine your why. Why are you doing this? Are you doing this because you want to get that mortgage? Are you doing this because you want to get that new car note? Are you doing this because you want to provide your son or your daughter a different way of living, a different form of life, a better way of living? Listen, whatever your why is, you just create your why. You determine what your why is, and you keep doing this because of your why. I'm not going to beat the dead horse. If you guys have any questions in regards to some of the things you may be doing or not doing, and when it comes to prospecting calls, making that initial sales call, even that second, third phone call, shoot me an email and let's talk about it.